Alright guys, last video for the week. I want you guys to take a look at one last theorem that proves triangles congruent. And we call it the hypotenuse leg theorem. And it's actually a little bit of a addition onto what we've already learned. So if we remember correctly, one's congruencies that work, side, 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 angle, side, angle, 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 side. All of those work. The ones that don't work, side, side, angle, and angle, angle, angle. Now, hypotenuse leg is like a special edition of the side, side, angle theorem that actually works. Now, remember we talked about side, side angle and that it doesn't work because sometimes it makes two different triangles. Well, hypotenuse leg is actually a special case that only makes one triangle. Now, let me show you the special case and what happens here. So the key to understand the hypotenuse leg is, first off, it is always, 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 always a right triangle. And notice this word hypotenuse. That means the side opposite 90 degrees in a triangle, right? So the word hypotenuse cues us off to say, hey, this is always going to be a right triangle. And then it also has a leg. So a leg is a non-hypotenuse side of a triangle. So we'll just say these guys here. We'll call these guys the leg. So I know it's a right triangle. I know I have the opposite side of the 90 degrees, and I have one of the two legs. And notice what happens here. I get angle, side, side. And we've talked about this. Angle, side, side. If it makes a bad word, we don't use it, right? Well, in this case, hypotenuse leg, HL, we're not actually treating this like angle, side, side. Instead, what we're doing is we're saying we're having a hypotenuse and a leg because this is the special case that works for angle, side, side, or side, side, angle. Okay, hypotenuse leg, or HL. So this is our final congruency that does work. So when you have a right triangle, it doesn't mean it's HL, but it's something we should be on the lookout for, that it could be HL. Or if we get angle side side, we should double check to make sure that we're not dealing with a right triangle. So let's look at a couple of examples here. Notice here we have the reflexive side. So we can count that side. I've got 90 degrees, so that means that one's 90 degrees. And let's take a look at what I have. Angle, side, side. Now a common mistake would be to call this side, angle, angle. One way to think about it here, guys, you can't go this way because notice what happens. I skip a side, AD, and an angle A to get to my next one. I want to move in as short as possible. Or you can think about it, the fact that the angle is not included. It's not the included angle between the two sides. It would have to be this angle to be side, angle, side. But here we've got angle and a side and a side. Normally that wouldn't be allowed. It's a right triangle, so that makes it HL. All right, so here's the official list. This is the final list. Things that prove triangles congruent. Side, 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 angle, 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 side, HL. The things that are not enough information, that would be side, side, angle, and angle, angle, angle. Those two are not enough to prove the triangle's congruent. And remember, side, side, angle is technically, or HL is kind of like a special case of SSA, but it's with right triangles. All right, so that's the first part of this lesson, is just adding one more congruency. The majority of your work today is to work through just identifying. We're asking you to identify. The second piece that we're asking for you to do today is a special kind of variation off of this. And what this one is you're given a set of triangles and you're given some information, but you need one additional piece to have the congruency. So it's kind of let's make sure you can see this, actually, it'd be helpful, right? What do you need to get to side, angle, side? So I've got, let's figure out what we have first before we look for what we need. I've got a side here. I've got VW, or I'm sorry, VX, and I've got 90 degrees. So I've got a side and an angle, right? And I look at the other one, I've got a side and an angle. So I've got this piece, so I'm looking for another side, right? If I could get another side. So this isn't something that we have, it's something that we need. What do we need to get to side, angle, side? Well, we need another side, and which side specifically? We need WV, because that would get me another side here, right? To match up with with XK. So WV would have to be congruent to. Now this is important. Which one does W match with? W matches with K, so would have to be congruent with KV. x. Okay, notice we're keeping the letters in order even for our little segments. So WV is equal to or congruent to KX. So do you see how that works? We figure out what we have and then we look for what we need. Now, on your work today, that's the second part of your assignment, is problems like this. We'll walk through one or two more just to look at some special cases here. Okay, we want angle, side, angle. So I've got an angle. I've got a side, this reflexive side. Which angle do I need? Well, I need this angle right here, right? That will give me angle, side, angle. Now, this is not enough. You can't just say angle U is congruent to angle U. The reason being, we don't know what you're talking about. If you say angle U, how in the world am I supposed to know which piece of angle U we're supposed to talk about? So this is a case where we're going to have to use 3 letters for my angles. So angle DUT would be this top angle right here, right? It would be this, that would be this guy up here, D to U to T. That makes that angle right there. Would be congruent to, and again, I'm going to keep them in order, angle SUT. Okay, so do be on the lookout. Some of the problems are going to require you to use your angles with 3 letters instead of 1 on the work today. All right, last one. Let's talk about another case that we haven't talked about yet. What do we need for angle, angle, side? Well, I look at this set of triangles, and I know I have some vertical angles, right? So that's one of my angles. I don't know which one yet. And I see that C bisects BD. We've talked about this word bisect. It's been a while, though. So what does the word bisect mean? It means it cuts it in half. So if we cut 2 pieces in half, or we break a stick in half, what do I end up with? I end up with 2 equal segments. So that actually tells me that BC and CD are the same size because they've been cut in half. So now I see I've got an angle and a side. So what I need is another angle. So I can't do angle B because then I'd end up with angle, side, angle. So I need to do angle A is congruent to angle E. That would get me angle, angle, side. So hopefully all of that is helpful. And as always, feel free to reach out if you have any questions. You've got a Google form for congruent triangles, and then we have a quizzes tomorrow. The quizzes tomorrow should be closed note, closed book, closed friend, close everything. You should be able to do it without a calculator or anything like that. You should just be able to take the quizzes, take it once, do as well as you can. It may count for some sort of quiz grade. I haven't decided yet, but it might count for some sort of quiz grade. So do well, do an accurate job, and hopefully we will see each other soon.